Blue Jupiter originally, if I understand it right, was 4 guys, and you actually had an opportunity to be part of Sing Strong, which we can talk briefly about that, and that really changed your life and the group's life.
Indeed.
And also one of the people who was running Stay Strong.
Yep.
Or actually both of them, 2 of them. I mean, well,
yeah, it ended up they were both. Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, I went back and looked at you guys from 10 years ago, Blue Jupiter. Whoa, way different. But you got so really encapsulate. You know, of course, Diana. You went from 4 guys to 3 guys and a woman, and anyway, she's told her story here. But just a little bit of that, and then let's talk about the new album. And I like to talk about that sense of team and how you must have to know. Really be in consort in terms of vibing each other's energy, because you all have other things you do, like one's a lawyer, all kinds of stuff, but you do this too, you know, so go ahead.
So the origin of Blue Jupiter is that it was 4 guys. And you know, we had a really good time. We were all went to the first 4 guys. You know, we came from Berkeley, and so we were these music geeks that just like making harmony music. And as we progressed, we made a couple albums in our beginnings, and Diana and Jonathan at that time were co-producing a festival called Sing Strong. And they brought us in to headline and perform.
Right, and that raises money for Alzheimer's, which is really great. And they do it you do it all the time?
Every year. We got in New York, it's in February, I think, this year. So they brought us in, this is, I don't know, mid-aughts, 2000-something, 2004, maybe 5. And so they brought us into headline, and after that, we realized that Diana, in particular, had a lot to offer Blue Jupiter in terms of management, because you know,
she's premier on that.
Yeah, I mean, she is so polished and perfect with coaching groups and bringing the best out of their performance. And you know, we just stood on stage and sang our complicated little harmony, and that was kind of it. And she's like, we could really make a stage show out of this. So we convinced her through basically crashing on their couches for a year to manage the band. And eventually, you know, when membership changed, there was an opening for her to join. And we had been getting all these corporate requests that wanted a female singer at the time. So it was just a natural fit for her to come into the group. And with that entry, changed our entire musical philosophy and our style into a more Broadway and jazz influenced one. And then Jonathan, you know, as membership changed, people have careers and families and that sort of thing. Jonathan was a natural fit also because the 2 of them had been friends for years, and we loved working with Jonathan creatively. So for him to join the band was also a no-brainer. So
is Mark one of the? It's Mark, right? The 3rd person, Jonathan?
No, Jeff.
Jeff, sorry.
Yes,
Why did I say Mark?
No,
Jeff, I don't know where I got that from. Jeff, is he an original?
No, so
also?
Jeff is not an original. Okay. He's been with us for 7 years now. The band's been in existence for almost 15 years.
Yeah, it's amazing, and they're so great. So let's talk a little bit about, because I don't want to run out of time, and I want to come back to more about how the group really works together. But we have a new album coming out, and it's called Twisted
Broadway Volume 1.
Yep.
Which the title itself suggests that there will be more to follow, and it's already in development. But with that new album comes a really exciting announcement that we just today, in fact, signed a deal with Broadway Records to be our record label for this album.
Which is great.
We are so thrilled and so proud of this record. It was really 10 years in the making, this creative process. It's songs from shows like Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, Chicago, Pippin, Wizard of Oz, the best songs from these shows that we have taken, sort of deconstructed entirely, and reassembled them in an all-new style that no one's ever heard before. So.
Right, and can we talk about that? I wanted to ask because I find it very fascinating. Because I said this to Diana when she was on the show, because when I heard Defying Gravity, and I've always loved that song anyway. I said, you know, what you all do really allows a whole different draw of people to experience the music and get a message and something for their own life that's totally, you know, doesn't necessarily have to relate to the play at all. But it also, there's things you hear when you do it the way you all do it, and that you don't hear when you're you know, in the whole throes of the whole musical. And I wanted to ask, you say you keep everything in your head. When you guys get together to be like, okay, we're going to do, you know, Up on the Roof or something. I'm not going to pick a Broadway. Okay, so do you just start messing around? Did you actually have arrangements? Do people actually look at things? Or is it really like this improvisational gym like when you're with jazz musicians and you do?
You know, our creative process has boiled down to this. Almost all songs work this way. We'll decide on a song, and then maybe we'll give some collaborative input as to which direction that should go. But then I sort of go into my cave and put some ideas down and really try and, you know, keep everyone's abilities, both in terms of their range and their stamina, in mind, and put together a piece that I think would work well for the Blue Jupiter sound. And then I bring that back to the group, and we call that like maybe 80% done. At that point, we all learn what I've arranged, and we sing through it a couple times, and we get comfortable with it, and then the group takes it and makes it its own. So we change things. We maybe twist the verse around